Welcome back to Artifacts of the Museum. Today we're looking at set number 42098, the LEGO Technic car transporter. This is going to be a tough one, not because it's complicated, but because it's just darn huge. This thing barely fits into frame, and even that it doesn't really fit into frame. The transporter is made up of two halves, which we'll explore separately, but right now, it's loaded up with 5 Technic vehicles packed to the brim. Let's start with the cars, since those need to come off before we dive into the transporter's mechanics. Starting off by showing off the Camaro, which does come with the set. It's got working pistons on the engine and free spinning front wheels. Pretty minimal functionality, but it looks great and fits perfectly on the transporter. Behind it are going to be 2 Corvette models. These are duplicates and do not come with the set, but they make great filler vehicles for display. Same idea here, front engine pistons and turning wheels. It fits. I think the Corvette is actually a little bit too long to fit in this set, but you know, we're able to fit it in as best as we can, so it's not too bad. Second Corvette's exactly the same, the duplicate of the first one. The engine working pistons work too, as long as you roll the car. Below them is the Technic Le Mans style racer. Simple design, but I really like the silhouette of it. This one features a pullback motor, which means it can be pulled back and let race forward, as we can show you here. So we can pull it back and then watch it shoot forward. There's even a trigger on this that you can pull it back, hold it into place, and release it when you are ready. Like so. It's a great upgrade to the classic pullback concept. And finally, we will finish up with the Ford Mustang, which also has a pullback function. But it's a little bit hard to get at this one, so we have to disconnect the 2 halves of the transporter, so then we can actually remove the Technic pin connected to the front and the back half, and slide the rear section out of frame and focus on the front half. So now we have free access to getting the Ford Mustang, so let's go pull the Mustang out and show you the pullback function on this one as well. It's a little bit harder to access the trigger here, so it might take me a couple tries to actually get the pullback function. So nope, didn't catch there. I think this one, nope, I'll try it again. There we go, it caught, and then just gonna shoot forward. So let's pull the Mustang back, and starting with the front cab, there's a working steering mechanism at the front that allows you to turn the wheels left and right. There's also side safety railings that hold cars into place. Plus, you have side view mirrors on both sides. Sticker element, I believe, so not the greatest, but you know, it's not too bad. There's going to be a secondary steering knob near the side of the cabin. Does the same thing, but gives you an easier angle depending on how you're displaying or playing with the set. On the side, you can also see the articulating ramp, which raises and lowers the upper platform for vehicle loading. And as we turn the crank, the platform tilts back to its driving position from its loading position. The gearing system is fully visible as it moves, which is a fun play detail, and you'll be able to check it out here as we raise the ramp back up into its normal place. There's not too many other playability functions on this front half here, but there are a couple more surprises on the rear half of the transporter. So as soon as we get everything back into place, we can move the front half out of frame and then get the rear half. This section is functionally very similar, or the rear half of the vehicle is very similar, but includes 2 ramps instead of 1. An upper drawbridge style ramp that connects to the front half, and a lower rear ramp that folds out, loading cars from the back. The bridge ramp lowers using a crank similar to the front. We can flip down the rear ramp, which allows us to move cars in between the rear half of the transporter to the front half, like so. And we also have an upper floor ramp that goes down, very similar to the front half of the transporter. We just keep cranking it and cranking it and cranking it until it comes downwards. And this is how we allow the transporter to load cars into the upper levels, by using these kind of ramps. Takes a little bit of turning, but it folds neatly into place when you're done. So now we go ahead and we can take a look at some of the upper floors here. It looks very similar to the front half. And then we'll use the mechanism for raising the rear ramp as we go ahead and raise it back up. It folds very nicely and cleanly. And as we put it back into place by raising it down, Sometimes needs a little bit of a help by our fingertips, but once it's down, then it's perfect and ready to go. So we'll continue letting it go almost to the very bottom, and then let's go ahead and start to reload the vehicles onto the car transporter. So we'll start off with the Le Mans race car, when we're going to load it into the rear half of the transporter, but on the bottom floor. It fits neatly onto the bottom deck. And then we'll go ahead and grab our first Corvette and pop it onto the top. You can see here the connection hitch that joins the front and the rear of the trailer. It's going to be just a Technic pin, but it works surprisingly well. I mean, you don't really need that smooth of a motion for the front and rear half of the transporter to be connected, so I think it works just fine. So let's slide the front half of the transporter back to frame. There's some side view mirrors here that we didn't point out earlier. So we'll place the Ford Mustang on the bottom floor on its own. The portion of the upper floor right above the word Ford Mustang is tends to be the weakest, so I try to put the lightest car there, which would be the Corvette in this case. It's time to reconnect the two halves. The Technic pin goes right into the hitch. Might take a few tries to align everything, but once it's in, the structure feels pretty solid. And we'll go ahead and continue to try to put this together. I may have to take a little bit of a closer look because this connection hitch is pretty difficult to put in, even if you're sitting right next to it, or I'm sorry, if you're just looking at it from the very top. It's still hard to make sure that everything aligns right before you put the connection pin back in. And unfortunately, this set is a little bit too large to spin on the Lazy Susan, but we can tell you that it is 8 inches high and 5 inches wide, and it is quite a lengthy set. So thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.